Morning, everybody. Who out there has already been awake for 3.5 hours? I got up at 5 o'clock this morning to go to a 6 a.m. yoga class. That's, once I got into the yoga class, I was like, why am I doing this to myself right now? Like, why? And then I went, oh yeah, because you love yourself. Because you love yourself, because you give a shit. Because it's the healthy thing to do. It's the self-care thing to do. And at the end of it, you're going to feel better about doing it. You will. You'll feel better. You know, yoga today and today's talk is actually just brought on by yoga. You know, it's one of those things where yoga is always can be a very pushing practice in different ways. And for the lessons that we do learn on the mat, I encourage my clients to do yoga frequently, and not for the lessons on the mat, but just for the body awareness, just that body awareness. And as many of you know, last year I had a knee injury. We will just call it that for sake of everything. And the knee injury was brought on by another human being. And the last few practices that I've had has definitely, especially this morning, had me caught in a tremendous amount of feels. I was definitely caught in the feels, and they were not those lovey-dovey, you know, rose-tinted glasses feels. It was the feels of, oh, just this wanting to tear heads off of individuals. I'll just admit it. And I was telling Addison after yoga practice, because we're yoga buddies, I was telling her, I was just like, man, like, me sitting in so much anger. And I wasn't going to share any of this with anybody today, but hey, babe. I wasn't going to share any of this with anybody today because we're coming on Christmas, and who wants to talk about anger? Who wants to talk about rage, about, you know, just the frustrations and being, maybe the wounding that we experience that brings up anger in our lives. And then I got a text message from a client, and I got this text message, and it was a very angry text message brought on about the holidays and the events that are taking place in their life. And I just like, no, you know, this is actually the perfect time to talk about the feels of anger. It is a place that we are comfortable. It's a place that we believe that, especially at this time of the year, like, who wants to be sitting in anger in the most joyous season of the year, right? Like, it's all about family. It's all about richness and connection and this love and gifts of multitudes of ways, right? But mainly to express our love for somebody else and to receive love. A season really is a love-based season. Yet so many of us experience this anger. And we try to cover it up. We try to mask it, and we try to hide from it, and we try to shove it underneath the carpet, you know, and just act like it's not there and breathe through. But this time of the year is indeed, I don't know what my dog is doing. I think she just fell off of a chair out there. Silly puppy. This time of the year does bring up anger and rage, bitterness, frustration, irritation. And, you know, the other day when I got back from the Tantra Austin Festival, I had touched on the expressions that I witnessed down there around people not being able to experience another's anger, rage, sadness, to not lean in and just hold space, which makes it impossible for the person who is experiencing the energy to move through it, to be able to trust those that they are by. But what do we need to be able to move through the anger? Anger is actually a higher vibrational energy than depression or sadness. We're still tipping on a victim mode mindset because we're pointing outward. Typically with anger, we are still in blame mode. We are still pointing outward. We're still frustrated, and we're going out of the self because and believing that this was caused by another. Although sometimes it can be, right? But that other is not keeping us in anger. We are keeping ourselves in anger. In order to move through anger, a few things have to happen. Number one, we have to allow ourselves to feel it. We have to allow ourselves to feel it. We are not going to move through anything that we don't allow ourselves to embody and go, yeah, I feel sad. I feel mad. I feel, bored. I feel hopeful. I feel joyous. If we want to bring ourselves up the emotional scale, to have that fuck yes life, to call in the things that we want to call in, then we have to allow ourselves to get into those primal feelings of anger, of sadness, of blame, of jealousy, of those darker emotions. And this time of the year, we really do we have them. We just don't want to let them be seen even more than the rest of the year. But it never ceases. They do come out, right? More fights, tons of people getting divorced. I never wanted to be with you anyways. You never made me happy, blah, blah. I tell you, divorce rate is at an all-time high in the holiday season. More people end up going through separations and some nasty partner-based, domestic fights at this season than any other time of the year. And it is because of the extra pressure that is put on us to hold it all together, to put on the face, to just try to make it all merry and perfect, when actually we are frustrated, we are feeling lack of support, we are feeling lack of love, we are feeling overworked, exhausted, and we're frustrated and bitter towards different situations. So, first step, we have to acknowledge that we're whatever that emotion is. In this case, we're leaning on anger because I experienced anger in yoga class this morning. So that's my conscious coffee. I get to pick the emotion. So there I was, and I was experiencing anger in yoga class this morning, and I was just so I go all Quentin Tarantino in my head. I always tell people, I'm like, the reason I can be all light and love all over everybody and be so harmonious and peaceful and have the heart that I do is because I allow myself to go Quentin Tarantino in my head. That's just where I go. So I'm slaying things in my being as the yoga instructor is trying to microscopically adjust me to get my hips aligned, which made a pull on my knee, which caused my hip flexor to do this other thing, which made me feel like somebody was actually stabbing my womb. And I was just trying to breathe into it and get the stretch and build the muscle and allow myself to grow right here and to really truly just embody what I was feeling. Yet in that moment, what I was feeling was very Quentin Tarantino, just blood splatter everywhere around the person that caused this physical issue. And I thought to myself, number one, I told myself, you're in yoga. It's a peaceful practice. It's all about mindfulness, light and love, light and love, light and love. Why are you in anger, Kendall? Why are you in anger? Let's not go into anger. And I went, fuck it. I'm in anger. I am in anger. I need to feel this. I need to sweat it out because I go to hot yoga. So I need to sweat it out. I need to just really, truly just let this push out of my being, because it's not good for me. So that's what I did. I chose to lean into it. I chose to let my heart feel that pain, which was causing the anger. I chose to let my heart feel the physical pain and the irritation and the realization of this is probably a lifelong, little thing that I'm going to have to work through consistently. I'm going to consistently have this lesson in my life, and I have to get right with it. I have to get good with it because it is a lesson, and because I brought this lesson into my life for a reason. Here we go. Here's a flipping. We move from anger. We move from blame. We move from this bitterness, this really pissed off state to a point of, okay, it's okay to feel the emotion. Give permission. There's power in owning. There's power in giving permission for whatever emotion you're having. Okay? And then the next thing is to go, okay, I don't need to sit here and let it go. I'm making a choice right now to stay in this or to change my focus to something that feels better, because anger doesn't feel good, right? But anger typically feels better than depression or sadness. So we level that up. And I went, oh, so as I'm breathing into it, I also have a feeling of openness, a feeling of hope. With this anger, there's also hope, because I am in yoga class. I know what yoga offers. I am breathing into this moment. I am there with the intent to strengthen the physical and the emotional body in this moment, to move the energy, to clear out the system, to wring out all the toxins from the physical and the emotional, which can be done through a beautiful practice, right? And I went, oh, well, that feels good, to acknowledge my intent, to acknowledge what I am actually doing for myself, which is what? A statement of self-love. It is practice of self-love. So here I am in anger, allowing myself to be in anger, which is loving of the self in its own way, because I'm owning my emotion. I'm owning what I'm feeling. And then that leads me to, you're loving yourself, girl. You're okay. Hey, this is a lesson. You called it in. Let's get the lesson. And let's keep practicing the love. So we're moving slowly to the love. We're moving to that state of, oh, I have hope that my body will strengthen. I have hope that I will be able to get my hips back into alignment. I have hope that my knee will get strong enough that it will be able to support me again in the way that I know that it once did. I have hope that I can move forward and let go. Here's where forgiveness comes in. Forgiveness is nothing more than a letting go process. When we forgive, the event that we need to forgive, the person that we need to, our feelings, they're always there. We're never going to escape this thing in our past. It is part of our past. But in order to move into a state of forgiveness, what we must do is to let go of the idea that we need to remain focused on the pain, that we need to remain focused on the problem, on the issue, and try and the desire to be understood, the desire to be heard in this moment, the desire to really truly be felt there, and instead choose to feel better, choose to make choices around things, and to move ourselves towards something that feels better, that feels more right, that feels more in alignment to who we know we really are, to an alignment to our power, to our heart, and to love, right? And it is just a decision. It is just a decision as to where we are applying our focus. And once we start applying our focus into the positive, sure, we're going to get triggered every now and then by something. Like, for the most part, I am a pretty happy, pretty loving person. Don't sit around and think about anything of the past. I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. I'm getting my, I'm moving forward on this expansion, growth, all that good stuff. And then I hit a moment like 6 a.m. yoga class where my body is just saying, fuck you. And all of this anger comes up. So acknowledge, own those moments when you get triggered, and then own the fact that, hey, in this owning of it, I am self-loving. What is the next self-loving step that I can do for myself to change my focus, which is to let go of this and to bring my attention over here, moving forward, which is now moving me into a state of forgiveness, into a beautiful practice of forgiveness, which is more, guess what? Self-love. So when we talk about the feels, at least today when I'm talking about the feels, if we are to have the feels, then we want them in always a positive way. We want the romance, we want the knee-popping kiss, we want the joy, we want the giggle, we want that expansion of self. But we don't want to get into the feels of the negative, because that's scary, that's evil, that's this, that's that, that's weak, that's whatever we deem it, right? Whatever that program is. And the realization that you need to come to is that The feels mean the feels in all ways. In order to be a strong human being, in order to fully embody the self and to step forward on your journey, on your path into that beautiful fuck yes life that you're craving, you must be willing, and you will only have that life once you allow yourself to really step into all the feels, no matter how you deem them, good or bad, to just feel the feels, to feel where you're at, to acknowledge it, to give permission for it, to own it, and to always come back to what is the next most loving thing that I can do for me. And that is Conscious Coffee for today. That is this moment. It was definitely an interesting experience, and I could have easily stepped into more blame in the moment, especially since I still deal with this person on a regular basis. So to be able to let go and just breathe into it and experience it and go, okay, this is fine right here. This is good right here. I am good. Here's my love for self. I encourage everybody to practice just that. Permission to feel, permission to embody the feeling, permission to pick the next best self-loving thing to do for self, to open to it and to receive it, to even lean toward it, and to lean into the emotion, because emotion can be uncomfortable. It is that raggedy edge that expands us, and our emotions help us to expand, help us to grow, and help to heal our wounds, emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical wounds. I love you guys. I'm running a special right now on my 12 days of Christmas, which is not 12 days long anymore. This special ends on the 26th of December. This is a fucking phenomenal special. I've got 3 amazing bundles. One for all you beautiful goddesses out there who want to claim your power, who want to feel great, who want to have that fuck yes life, who want to call in your soulmate, who want to have this orgasmic state of life. I've got the goddess bundle for you moving into 2020. 8 home study programs that will allow you to really truly step into your power. And for all of you gentlemen out there, I've got the Man the Fuck Up bundle, and this is all about becoming a conscious man, a man who understands himself, embodies himself, understands masculine energy, really wants to understand women as well, the tantric practice, your primal power, and how to tap into it and how to expand yourself, how to connect, how to ravish not only your woman, but your life to create that fuck yes life. I've got a bundle for you and for 2020, and that is 8 home study programs as well. And then for all of my beautiful entrepreneur friends out there who know that, as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur since I was in my early 20s, but I really figured it out over the last 10 years. And over the last 5 or 6 years, I would say that I've definitely reached this state of area in my life where I have the schedule that I want. I work 2, maybe 3 days a week. I make a nice 6-figure income. I travel all over the place. I eat well. I have tons of time for self, for family. I have this creative flow. I have all of this stuff. I have this beautiful richness. And I watch people out there who have these beautiful callings, this beautiful mission and gifts to give to the world. And they want to do it through being an entrepreneur, through having a business, and they want that ideal, that fuck yes life, right? But they don't know how to get it, and they're struggling, and they're really, really working hard at it instead of learning how to get into your flow, into that state of alignment where shit just kind of happens for you. That magical, magical place that we can be. I have the Be the Boss of 2020 bundle for all you entrepreneurs out there. This is 5 home study programs that I put together over the course of the last couple years. It is all the fundamentals that I use still today on a day-to-day basis that I teach to my mentoring clients, my entrepreneurs who I am helping move into that fuck yes style of life for themselves, for their life, for their love, for their way of being, and to really just tap into their mission and make really fucking amazing money doing it. Because the reality is that as a spiritual entrepreneur, which I believe that most people that follow me who are entrepreneurs are probably on this line. As a spiritual entrepreneur, there's this belief that to be spiritual means that you don't make money. It is not a good thing. Well, here's the God's honest truth on it. As a spiritual entrepreneur, teacher, coach, practitioner, it is your fucking duty to make not just a little bit of money, but a gobstock amount of money. Like, you need to be blown wide open financially, because when you have that coming in, your resources to be able to help others and to really touch this world expand with you. And you can't do that rubbing two pennies together. You can't do that when you're stressed about your mortgage or your car payment or food on the table, or, you know, putting shoes on your kids' feet. I've been there. The struggle can be very real. It can be very, very difficult to get out of. You can find yourself lost in your own business, and you can take what was once this beautiful passion, this beautiful purpose, this calling, and actually start to hate on it. And that's not what it was given to you for. It was given to you because it is a gift. It's a gift to change the world. It's a gift to let your heart and soul out. It's a gift to really, truly let your light shine. So in the Be the Boss of 2020 bundle, I have 5 beautiful programs that help you get from wherever you're at, basically from 0 to 100K plus much, much more, by just taking those practices in there and building a business in alignment so that you can create from your soul and get paid for doing it. Okay, so I will make sure that is in the comments section, the link to that. And as always, guys, if I've said anything in here that touched you, that made you think of somebody, please hit the share button. Help me share Conscious Coffee. Help me share these messages. Reach out to me for any one-on-one information that you would like. I do have a couple spots that are coming open for my one-on-one coaching come the first of the year. Very, very limited space on that, though. So either message me in the message section or pop me a private on that. And I wish you all the best for this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. And remember to stop existing, start living, own your truth, own your emotions, and give yourself permission to be human. Love yourself. I love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee.